Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another exciting episode of our Tech Talk podcast by Tech Exchange, where we explore ideas and innovations shaping the future of technology. In today's episode, we are focusing on sustainability, a topic that's becoming increasingly important across industries. So, joining us is Anupam Gogoi, an expert who has been driving impactful changes in the IT sector through sustainable practices. So together we'll explore how technology can evolve responsibly while ensuring a balance between growth and environment care. So let's dive into this meaningful conversation. Welcome to the show, Anupam. How are you doing today?
Ania, thank you so much. Very good evening. I am doing good. How are you? All well?
Yeah, I am good. Thank you so much. Okay. So let's start with the basics, okay? What does sustainability mean for the IT industry?
Thank you so much for your question, Ania. So basically, myself, I take care of the infrastructure business for a product from IBM. This product is basically storage business. Now, that being said, whenever we go to customers, right, we understand that any customer today is using a lot of infrastructure in its premises. Any enterprise today needs a lot of infrastructure, data center, and this data center requires a lot of resources like energy, cooling, and as we all know, not only data centers, but even the laptops and desktops that any office is having today, right? There is a term called carbon footprint, right? So any machine, be it IT, non-IT, there is always a carbon footprint, which is, being left on the environment. Now, when we say sustainability specific to an IT industry, right, it basically refers to any practices, strategies, which aims to reduce this the environmental impact, which tries to promote how you are efficiently going to use the energy, right, and also how responsibly you can use these resources, right? It might be anything from reducing your e-wastes. It can
Mhm.
be reduction in your carbon emissions, right? And also any company has to buy all these infrastructure. How ethically and how responsibly you are procuring or sourcing your infrastructure, and also you are basically using it. That is also very important. So all this encapsulates the entire sustainability practice in the IT industry. That's what you can say means when we say sustainability in the IT industry. It is the practice.
Okay. And how are companies achieving this?
So, see, basically what happens is, as I told you, right? I mean, it's all about how efficiently you are going to use your resources. If you are a company having a very large data center, right?
Mm.
How your data center is, how you can minimize the energy consumption of your data center, right? If you are using many, maybe servers and storage, how you can consolidate, reduce the resources, and how the power consumption can be lowered, how the cooling can be lowered, right? So that is one way. Another way is how you are, as I told you, how you can design the usage of your products, right? It's not only
Mm.
like you buy something today, after 3 years, 5 years, you just scrap it. Because when you scrap this, right, it is called e-waste. E-waste, right? Electronic waste. So instead of doing that, how you can, it's basically called circular economy or something. I forgot the term. What it means is instead of just scrapping it, you need to see how you can reutilize these resources, right? That is another way of a sustainable practice, right?
Yes.
Then
Right.
even from utilization of your applications, right? When you are going to utilize, suppose run an application in your company, you will have
Mm.
multiple applications. For multiple applications, instead of using multiple infrastructure, there's a term called virtualizing your infrastructure, right? In a single infrastructure, you are able to use the same single infrastructure for running multiple applications. That way
Mm.
also, this is a practice, as I told you, right? How you are finding those different practices. Using virtualization kind of a practice, you can reduce infrastructure, that infrastructure reduction reduces the footprint of carbon and energy and cooling and everything, right?
Yeah.
So these are few things that a company can definitely do as a starting point for sustainability in their IT landscape.
Yeah. Great. True. Why is it important for companies to follow sustainable IT practices? Does it have any direct impact on the to an organization's cost?
Yeah, see, cost is one of the very important aspect because any company today, has so many types of cost. Any practice that helps a company to reduce their cost will be always welcome, right? Definitely, reducing your servers, reducing your infrastructure leads to less energy consumption, less cooling, right? Even you can reduce the data center space, so all these leads to reduction in cost. Okay, but more apart from that, also there are other aspects for which a company should practice the sustainability. One is today there are a lot of regulations coming from the governments that whenever you are setting up your company, right?
Mhm.
There is always a regulatory body that monitors what is your carbon footprint as a company, right? All these regulations to be compliant, sometimes you'll have to have some sort of sustainable practice, right? Apart from that, as a company, you are going to sell your products, right? Now, when you are going to sell your products, to whom you are going to sell? You are going to sell to your clients.
Yeah.
Now, most of the clients today also prefer to procure the product from companies who are sustainable in nature, right?
Yeah.
So when you are going and talking to your customers and when you have competition, if you have a sustainable, what to say, practice, this also can be like an advantage that, if you are procuring from us, we have this kind of a sustainable practice certification, that kind of thing. So that sustainability also gives you some brownie points as a as a seller to your customers, right? So these two, three things can definitely help. And see, I mean, there are a few data points also when it comes to
Mhm.
sustainability, right?
Mhm.
Today, 1% of the global energy consumption is basically done by data centers, right? And this will only grow, okay? And in the coming, say, 5 to 6 years, right? Uh, the the growth will be massive, right? We are 1% in another 3 4 years, it will probably reach 4%, right? I mean,
Yeah.
combined to all these years from which all this IT boom has happened, we are only at 1%. Suddenly, within like 4 5 years, we are talking massive growth, another 2 3%, right? That's 3 400% growth. Then there are so many times when today actually it is seen that the carbon emission from all
Mhm.
the IT industries, all the data centers in the world, is almost equivalent to how much carbon emission is probably happening from the airways, right? So 1% can be low. You can say, okay, no, no, it's very low, it's okay, but it is as equivalent to the aviation industry, right? And this is only going to grow, right? So all put in perspective, Anya, it is very important. Sustainability sometimes for companies it can take a back seat as well because what happens, as you said, costs. There are positive as well as negative aspects to cost, right? When companies decided, okay, we will do some sustainable practice, uh,
Mhm.
it needs some level of training to its employees. The initial investment into renewable resources, renewable energy
Yeah.
can be high. You're talking about solar panels, you're talking about wind. So these can be high. The IT cost, initial investment can be high. But when you look it over the next 5 10 years, right, this overall cost in the next 5 to 10 years will be lower when you compare to using something that today is not sustainable, not renewable, right?
Mhm.
So there can be two ways people can say as a company that my cost is very high if we are going for a renewable, but it is always important that they have to look at long term because
Yeah.
anyone today, it is our responsibility to look for the future generation as well, right? If you have
Mhm.
a very large company, you are employing thousands of customers, you're employing so many people in your company, you are having so much of inventory, so much of assets, you're doing so much of billions of dollars of business. But
Mhm.
it is very important how sustainably you are leaving it for the next generation to come, right? Because the growth is massive. What is calculated today, the amount of carbon emission, the amount of e-waste, the amount of energy that has been consumed is exponential in the coming years. So it is need of the hour right now that every company should focus, should make it a part of their KRA to practice these sustainable measures and sustainable practice in their IT in the IT industry.
Okay. Thank you so much for sharing your insights and your expertise in the sustainable practices, how organizations should manage their cost as well as practice for the sustainability. So thank you so much, Anupam, for
Thank you
sharing
so much. Thank you
your
so much, Ania.
expertise.
It was lovely to share my insights. Hopefully, these are very, very top end insights. And then when people will delve deep into these facts, they will
Yeah.
learn much more. But thank you again for allowing me this time and opportunity to speak on your podcast.
Thank you so much. And we hope this discussion encourages our audience as well to, uh, to contribute to a more sustainable future through thoughtful actions and choices. So stay tuned for more engaging conversations and don't forget to subscribe to Tech Talk for updates on coming upcoming episodes. So until next time, take care and keep making a difference. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye bye.
Bye.